Yo, still Bills, what's the deal, man? Yo, peep game, man. I just finally picked up the grub for the fan bam. Damn, I can't even turn right here. Shit. I'm a real nigga, so I'm gonna do it. If ain't no cars coming, I'm gonna do that shit. And ain't no cars coming on this side, so I'm turning. Fuck what these sides is talking about. But peep game, man. Brian Castaño versus Charlo just got announced, man. Salute to that fight for happening, man. I think I think we're gonna get an undisputed world champion at 154 pounds. It's was it April? I think they either February or April. So I'm happy to hear that, man. I think this undisputed thing is kind of about to be the new vibes, and I fucks with it. But before I go, like, Jamal, what are you doing now? You dig? I'm hearing you keep taking these shots on on IG. You got Plant in the fucking pic, caption on your IG. You dig? You saying you sending shots at Andre. What are you doing? That's what I really want to know, man. Like, what are you doing? Are you gonna get in with somebody of note this year? Because I'm also hearing about you and Canelo. I'm also hearing about that, which would be a good look. That's a great name to have on your resume, especially if you can win, man. But what if you don't get that fight? What if you don't get that fight? A lot of you middleweights have just been really complicit with just staying, or not complicit, but complacent with just staying at middleweight, thinking you got, the type of clout and notoriety to, force Canelo to come down and holler at you instead of you going up and going to holler at him. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. It's about time you move up to the, to super middleweight anyway. So I just, what are you doing, man? There's 3 names out there floating around. The biggest and most profitable fight you can fight would be Canelo, but you fighting somebody like a Caleb Plant would be a lot more beneficial to you prepping for the likes of a Canelo Alvarez, because you're stepping up in competition. You haven't fought a world champion at middleweight. You fought for a vacant title, which I don't see. It's nothing wrong with that. You dig? People fight for vacant titles. That's just the nature of the sport. But you ain't made too many efforts to try and fight somebody that's like, yo, Derevianchenko was fresh off a war with Golovkin, but that was a good win nonetheless. It was a good win nonetheless. But after, it's like, yo, man, you've been there 4 or 5 years, bro. Like, that's all you got to show is Derevianchenko. So I don't know, man. Just, you need to get more like on what your brother is about, man. Unification bouts, because that's just, unless it's Golovkin, you seem to be only preoccupied with motherfuckers who are already tied up. You keep clapping at Golovkin, Golovkin has he's locked in with Murata. And the likelihood of you even getting that fight is highly unlikely, because you won't even, he's not about to come over there and fight on fucking PBC. Are you willing to go over there and fight on the zone? I'm sure the bag would be bigger, but you didn't even want to go holler at Andre when Hearn was trying to put up 7 M's for you. So I highly doubt you'll go over there and holler at Hearn, because you feel, yo, Al Heyman. Y'all feel some loyalty to Al Heyman. So what are you doing? You dig? With these 3 names floating around, I don't think this is the year that you can afford to be as lackluster as you have been as far as building your resume, man. Nobody is going to allow you to get away with fighting another Juan Montiel. It's not going to happen. Another Brandon Adams. It's not going to happen. Another Dennis Hogan. It's not going to happen. You got to get in there with some reputable foes, man, because there's really no excuse for you not going and fighting Demetrius Andre when he was on your heels the way that he was on your heels. Hearn said he was going to send that nigga over there to Team Heyman. But you ain't want it. I'm like, man, I don't know, King. What you doing? But I digress. But I really want to talk about Charlo versus Castaño. Like, how y'all see this fight going? Because the last motherfucker who outboxed Jermell ended up getting stopped in the following fight, or the fight after that, because he had a fight between him and Tony Harrison. he ended up getting stopped. But what was crazy is, despite him he took the fight out of the judges' hands, all 3 judges had him up on the scorecard in a fight that he was getting completely dominated in. And how it's looking is Jamal is about to be moving up to 168, and Jermell is going to be looking to move up to 160. So if Brian Castaño can't go in here and get this knockout, then I don't see him winning. I really don't see him winning, man. Honestly, and I've heard a few people say the ability to make adjustments, Jermell has that on his side as opposed to Brian Castaño. I don't even really see it like that. I don't really see it like that, honestly, man. Because when I look at the Charlos, I don't look at 2 dudes who are, who have multiple layers to their game. I don't see that. With Jermell, Jermell is better than Jamal, but I don't really see no wild, like, man, I don't know how Brian Castaño gonna be able to beat him, or how so-and-so gonna be able to beat him, because I'm looking at these dudes, I'm like, I think that they're beatable dudes. That's just me personally though, man. So, but I don't see Brian or Jermell Charlo, because to me an adjustment wouldn't be him being a pressure fighter, because that's just who he is. He's a pressure fighter. This dude is a dangerous puncher. You don't think he's trying to land that big shot? Hell yeah, he is. Him and his brother, they're dangerous punchers. Despite Jamal putting up the performance he did in his last fight, he's a dangerous puncher. Jermell is a dangerous puncher. What he did to Jason Rosario off a jab to the body, that shit was sickening. And it was around about mid-fight. It wasn't like Kovalev when he tapped dude to the body with the jab deep in the fight. It was Cedric Agnew. It wasn't like that. It wasn't really like that, man. He was able to get Jason out there, in a more timely manner. So he's a devastating puncher. And it's not like that. So he's trying to land that. He's trying to get. I don't see him pumping a jab and setting traps and using lateral movement from the outside. I don't see that, because that's just not his game. Even when he does try, because he tried to do it with Jason Rosario, and it was just like, it was like unnecessary movement. I've explained it before. It was just like, all right, bro, it's not like you're forcing him to come and chase you. You clipped him. Now, in order for him to regain control of the round, he has to come and clip you back, and you keep him off balance, and you set traps for him, and you just pumped it. It was none of that. You just got on the outside and just moved around a little bit, and then went right back in the trenches. So I don't see Jermell being in a position to where he can make adjustments in this fight. Even with him beating Tony Harrison in the rematch, he didn't really make adjustments. I didn't see any adjustments. I saw a dude who was using the same game plan as the first fight. He was a lot quicker on the draw when it was time to land the big shots. He was a lot sharper. Not even really a lot sharper, because a lot of them blows was getting slipped, and they was getting caught on the arms. But he was able to find the shot that'd end the fight earlier. He was able to find it between 1 and 12. He was able to find it between 1 and 12. So I didn't really see, I don't see Charlo as a dude who can make adjustments like that, man. I just don't. And the same with Brian Castaño. He's 5'7", fighting at fucking 154 pounds, man. He looked like Jermell was dwarfing that dude in the ring when they fought. He's not really no beefy dude like that, man. Like, Jermell looked like he was towering over this man. I don't see any of them being in a position to really make adjustments. I don't see Jermell being a dude who's gonna make wild adjustments, and I don't see Brian Castaño being a dude who's gonna be able to make wild adjustments. They can somewhat find a way to tweak what it is that they do. Be a little bit more calculative and sharper on the counter punching. Like, that's all I can see. That's all I can see, man. I couldn't say, like, if Jermell decided he wanted to be the more pressure fighter of this fight instead of trying to lay on the rope and set traps, I can't consider that an adjustment because that's who he is. That's who his fighting identity is. He likes the exchanges. So I'm not dissing Jermell or nothing like that. I'm not. But I think I just don't see one of them. I don't see either one of them being in a position where, well, they have the more layers to their game, so it'll be easier for them to make adjustments. I don't see it that way. I just see it. One of the two is just something they're gonna have to be sharper with their counter punching. They're gonna have to be a lot more savvy in the clinch. They're gonna have to pump the jab a little bit more to set up shots off of the jab. Maybe type the body a little bit more. But it's still gonna be in cohesion with who it is that they are as fighters. I think Brian Castaño can stand to cut more. He cut a lot of angles, you dig? I think he can stand to get, move more side to side than in and out. I think he could do that a lot more effectively than Jermell can. But I really don't know who I got winning this fight, man. I think it's gonna be a good fight regardless. Me personally, I think Brian Castaño should be undisputed right now, but that's gonna be a hard thing to do now because I think Jermell is gonna realize, all right, man, me laying on the rope playing possum ain't gonna work, so I have to go and attack this dude. Can you withstand that amount of punishment? What's your punch resistance like? Have you ever been hit with something big? Yeah, honestly, Jermell rang that nigga's bell a few times that last match, and he persevered. So he's proven to be a dude who can take big shots. Jermell was clipping him with some clean shots. I think he clipped him clean early in the match. And he damn near knocked Jermell down off of that shit. Brian Castaño ain't shit to fuck with. This man, homeboy, is not sweet, man. These Argentinians ain't nothing to fuck with. So I'm sitting here like, who is going to be the victor in this matchup? I don't know. Because I don't see any of them being in a position where they can just make multiple adjustments, because it's just not in their game. It behooves Brian Castaño to sit there and try and fight the fight that Jermell Charlo was fighting, because his limbs aren't long enough. He needs to be a dude who can get in, unless he can find, like Tyson was, with his jab, he can find that safe space where he's in a position where he can out-time and outspeed Jermell Charlo with his jab, like he did with Tony Tucker. All right, well, yeah, I can see that. I can see that, but the thing is, that jab will have to be fast and it had to be accurate. Not even powerful, just accurate to the point where it's forcing Jermell to reset, because the minute he steps in, he's meeting leather. I think it behooves Jermell to sit there on the outside and try and pump his jab. He doesn't have the feet to be, successful with that at this particular stage in his career. He's just not, he's not fast enough on his feet and good enough on his feet to where he can pump the jab and spin you off the jab. It's just, nah. He's not spinning nobody off of the jab. And that's all right. There's nothing wrong with, I'm not taking shots. But when he played possum, when he tried to be the dude to set traps, it worked against him. It got him a draw. And by most people's estimations, he should have lost that fight. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I think both of them are gonna have to do what it is that they did in the first fight. Just be a little bit more sharper, man. That may seem like some real deal casual shit, but I don't see them cats as niggas who are gonna be, one is just this. They just have a multitude of layers to the game. I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see that at all. Brian Castaño, it's not like he's Erislandy Lara and can, fight off of the back foot. He can't do that. Brian Castaño was 2 inches shorter than Lara. That shit matters. The only way he can do that is if he can find that pocket to where he's in range. Even if they're both in range, even if they both are in range, you're fast enough. You're pumping that jab, and you're doubling and tripling up on the jab to where you can catch Jermell. Even if y'all both exchange jabs, your jab is going to be a lot more efficient and effective because you landed it first, and you landed 2 of them before he landed the 1. That's the only, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Brian Castaño was a dude who may be able to make adjustments a little bit more so than Jermell at this point in time in their careers. Even though I don't think either one of them are dudes who can make adjustments like that. I just don't. I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. They're both gonna have to stick to what it is that they know, but just be a lot more calculative, you know, and be sharper. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't know who's gonna win this fight, man. You know, I think with Jermell, I may go with Jermell because the last time he had a rematch, he took it out of the judge's hands. So he has the history of doing that. He has that history. But this is Brian Castaño's second draw. And a lot of people, he feels he won that Lara fight, and a lot of people feel he won that Lara fight, and they feel the same way about this last Charlo fight that he was just in. So I think he knows Jermell's gonna come out there with his foot on the gas. He knows that. So I don't know, man. I can't wait for the fight to go down. Jermell seems to be the only Charlo brother that's really trying to make history and be great. So, you know, salute to him. But I do think that they're trying to get them cats. They're trying to get Jermell up. You know, they're gonna do whatever it is they can do to make sure that Jermell gets the nod, even if it goes the distance, so they can move him up and they can get another champion at 160 pounds when their champion decides to vacate and move up. They want to be able to have some sort of stock at 160. That's how I think it is going to happen like that. But we'll see, you know, we'll see. All in all, I can't wait for the fight. I'm most definitely going to be tuning in for that. So that's how I'm feeling about it, man. Like and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think, man. And I'm about to go get my grub on, man. So deuces.